Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is an absolute and utter win, a surprise win for us, because we have the champ, BooBoo Andrade, current world champion, two-weight world champion. You know what? We haven't been going that long, so this is a massive scalp for us. So thank you for doing this.
Thanks so much, champ.
Elite fighter that we've had on. Boom. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, just ready to rumble.
Yeah. I just want to say, because I've been chatting to my partner quite a lot, that I think I've spoken to your dad more in the past 24 hours than I've spoken to my own father in 5 years. We had 45 minutes on the phone together yesterday, just chatting. Yes. I want him to be my dad. Like,
he definitely likes to talk.
Yeah, he's a G.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Then obviously we've got to talk about the viral. Then we talk about obviously you's pride and joy. Yeah. So, champ, let's not start with the random Canelo beef. I personally would like to start and chat to you about the Williams fight. Like, because your dad said something really surprising to me yesterday, which is like, you don't train specifically for a fighter as such. You just literally just do you to the highest order. And that's astonishing for someone of your caliber and your level, because I would have thought there would at least be like particular prep, but he was pretty chill about that. He was like, no, my son just does what he needs to do. He reacts on the fly. He does what he needs to do on the fly. And that's how we've trained him and raised him. And it was like, bravo.
Respect.
Yeah, I mean, you just never know exactly what you're going to get into when you get into the ring, when you get into a fight. A lot of people are going to train a certain way fighting somebody else. And then when you watch that, somebody like Williams fight other people, he's training a certain way to fight that person that I'm guessing. But it's like, I'm not none of them guys that he's fighting. So my style is a little different. And, I've seen his style over and over and over, but any given time, Williams and his teams can try to come up with doing something different, going southpaw, trying new moves, new style themselves. So it's like, why are you only getting ready for one particular thing when you just never know what are you going to get in the ring and somebody's going to try to do. So, we prepare by just making sure we're sharp. We get, a bunch of different sparring partners. And of course, we get guys that's going to bring it as well too. But, the size difference, range difference, and speed difference, of course. So we're prepared for whatever. You just never know. From TV, it can look like one thing until you're actually in there with somebody.
For sure.
Very
and
true.
In that fight, I mean, because listen, I'm British, Streets is Aussie. You always, you always want to see another world titleist added to the list. But then when you see like Williams gets you as his first world title shot, you're like, oh, this is such a tough ask. Like this is such a hard ask for a first attempt. And then like you have those first couple of rounds where you were just like, oh God. And then he seemed to also, do you think he kind of looks a little bit like a Walmart Channing Tatum?
Walmart Channing Tatum.
I don't know who that is, man. I'm sorry.
the Magic Mike guy, but like a slightly like punched in the face version. But yeah, I think he does anyway. I think he does. But yeah, like he seemed to like callous almost. Like it was. I was impressed how tough he was, right? And you never want to celebrate a fighter for like abject toughness because they're getting lit.
Yeah, I mean, he's, I didn't know his story, but he got ran over by a car, a hand injury, whatever. So, that right there has built callous.
Yeah.
Not to make fun of the situation. I'm glad, he was able to, be alive, of course, and make it this far. And I mean, he was with Dominic Angle, not to like take anything from him. But when I was going to fight Billy Joe Saunders, he tested positive for drugs, and not to say he, anything of that, but to take that type of punishment. Will is definitely a character that you have to break, courage, of course, and then skill set, and then, just somebody's drive to wanting to do that. But damn, the type of shots I was landing on him and the power I was using, and he was just like, he was like, I'm to the moon, but I'm back.
Yeah.
I was like, I ain't never seen that shit before. You know what I mean? Like, I would hit him with shots, and he was just like, bring it on. I was like, no. Like, I just stay out here. Like, what's going on? And he was just, it just kept seeming like listen, he was in tremendous shape. It's his life-changing moments for him, an opportunity to, have life-changing money, opportunity to, continue to grow. And that's the type of fighters that I'm fighting, and not coming to get hit and laying down because they're in there. So they know what they're going against. And those are the type of guys I've been getting in the ring with. But my hat goes off for William to show his toughness, because this opportunity is going to allow him to get some more fights and beat somebody in his in his hometown, or hopefully get another shot at somebody who's brave enough to get in there with him after they seen like the type of shots he take. But he's a tank, so like it ain't easy.
No, I mean he proved himself to be world level, but not like world elite level. In that, I mean, like I said, tough ask. Like, you are an absolute nightmare to fight.
Yeah, he didn't really, there's nothing that he could actually do. There was he couldn't figure out no answers. Like, but yeah, he was able to like show he can hang in there as far as like stamina, condition, and willing to take shots. But as far as like being able to land and throw, I just took that all away. Not everybody can do what I do either. So he'll be able to throw and land shots against other guys.
That's it. You just showed the levels. It's like all the skill set is there, but against someone like you, that ain't enough. You need it was incredible showing. That skill was just off the chain.
He's lying on my name. I didn't do that. And let me tell you what, I did. Lying
Where's
on
that
my
coming
name. Yes.
What's...
All right, I thought my computer was
I thought that was me too.
I thought I had an exorcism going on.
No, there's something else coming through.
There.
Oh no, I guess it went to a Bluetooth of mine on accident.
Go
ahead, my bad. Say what you were saying.
Oh no, very very quickly. A good friend of mine once had a massive Bluetooth malfunction. And he listens to this, but we won't name names. Now he was trying to jostle for some love with his wife, and his wife was saying, "Nah, none of it." Now she went off and did her whatever she needed to do, and he was connected to the Bluetooth speaker in the kitchen. So
entertaining himself, I'm guessing.
He potentially was entertaining himself on several spurious websites, and it was just going. He was getting pissed that the sound wasn't coming out of his phone. And then all of a sudden, she just come upstairs, and it was just like, "What are you doing?" Respect.
That's funny.
Powerful Bluetooth. Anyway, as we were saying, back to topic, like Williams.
Get into some shit.
Yeah, you got to watch out for that. You've always got to disconnect from your devices at all times. Yeah,
there we go. We're back.
Yeah. So like the Williams fight was like a great. See, it was a great fight.
Yeah, there were just levels to it.
Yeah,
there were levels.
But like UK fans to see you again, like we all saw you. I mean, shout out to Brian Rose. Like he took a beating. Like, but again, it's true. It is like it is what it is. With what you were saying about Williams, do you think potentially like you got Big Dom, who's 52? He's in some pretty good shape, isn't he, for 52? Just saying.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad we're on the same page on that one, because I have wondered.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's no secret. Everybody in his gym has tested positive for steroids. It is what it is. It's just a fact. There's nothing wrong with me saying that, and Kel Brook, another person that's in the gym, another person, Joe, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can actually name and have facts that he, and that gym has done that. Which at the end of the day, man, hey, you got to do what you got to do to win. But over here, we playing fair. You know what I'm saying? Like, we playing fair over here, or we all gonna be on that shit. But
You know,
no.
the
But
weird
I'm
thing
clean.
is,
I'm a clean athlete. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I work hard, have work ethic, and may the best man win. That's it. Just a playing field, and yeah. There's a whole lot on stake. So do what you need to do the right way.
for sure. I mean,
Or
and like,
blow your chances. Or blow your chances. Like, for instance, Big Baby Miller. Like, look how much money. Look. I mean, even Billy Joe. When I was going to fight him, he was going to make $2.5 million when I was going to fight him back in 2000 and what was it, 18, 19? I'm not too sure, but that's a lot of money regardless. Baby Miller, Anthony Joshua. I don't know his numbers, but you're making millions of dollars. Like, so it's like, why, knowing that VADA's testing is the gold standard of, all testing. That's what I use. And that's what we pay for me and my opponent, and like why take that risk of losing out and not getting it back? But, to each his own.
Absolutely. Right.
I become a champion and I got some money.
Now we need to work on getting you more.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
More.
Man, more is nice.
I mean, are you more fixed on like cleaning up 160 or going 168 and chasing down the ginger golden child?
I mean, that's a good question. My position is like, it's tough for me to get in there and have the luxury of picking fights like, Canelo himself, where he can pick whoever he wants to fight at any time. I don't have that luxury. So for me to try to clean out a division, it's going to be tough because Triple G don't want to fight. Charlo didn't, accept or like counter offer on the money that Eddie Hunt said he offered him $7 million, whatever. So I kind of have to just pick in. I can only, kind of like see which direction. So if 168 is, if I can go up there and fight and make that fight happen, yeah, I'm going to make that fight happen. So I'm the guy that has to bounce around between 60 and 68 to try to make these big fights happen. But there's no way, I don't think everybody's going to fight me in the division. So, me being unified champion just might be tough unless I'm fighting one person that has it all, like Canelo, which he dodged me at 54. When I was a WBO champion, which he dodged me at 160 when he beat Triple G, and they had the rematch, and then he talked about he wanted to unify the division. He had every other belt set for one. That was my belt, and he chose not to. He chose to go up to 175 to fight Kovalev. When I was at 54, he chose to go and fight James Kirtland instead. It was me. They mentioned, I don't know, Corte or something, I believe his name. And James Kirtland, out of us three, my name of course got used, and he went with James Kirtland, the easiest guy that was out the ring, that's been out the ring, having trouble with his training. I think they was in jail a few times, in and out. So just like, if people can't see the blueprint and you just stuck up his ass, well, then you're never going to see the best really fight the best. You're just going to see Canelo, which is a good fighter. Nothing to take away from Canelo. He's a good fighter. He trains hard. He's in a position because, Golden Boy, and they know how to move him well. You got the Mexican fan base, which, when you have a country behind you and you're a countryman and like you have that, they're going to fight. You Britain, you know what I'm saying? You guys follow all your fighters.
We ride or die, even people we shouldn't.
You don't even have to know his name. He'd be like, Williams. He'd be like, I hope, yo, mate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
we all wrap ourselves in Welsh flags and we go, Yeah.
I don't really have that luxury. We have to fight lions and tigers and bears and a bunch of shit before they can start like jumping on and wanting to support. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. I'm Cape Verdean. That's my, nationality. A small country, of course. We got our own independence over time and back in the days. But at the end of the day, when Demetrius Andrade steps in the ring with another guy, we're going to sell out no matter what it is,
For sure.
Especially if you're at that elite level.
For sure. So with let's go to 160ers, right? So you said that Triple D doesn't want that fight. That's whatever. Triple G's 40 now, right? He's not going to have that long left, right? Charlo, $7 million is a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
I think $7 million is, I mean, I would be fine with $7 million personally. I'd be okay with that.
I mean, even if he said more, it's like, all right, what is more? What's the number? Like,
Yeah.
what? It's like there was never no number
talk.
that was like, yeah, it was never nothing like, yo, come back. You know what? I'll do it for 10. And it's just like, you know what? What do we got to do to make that money? Like, the build-up's there. The boxing world will probably view that fight more than a Canelo fight, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like the world, like America, like the world itself too, you know? Like, you're going to get more people in tune, probably Andrade versus Charlo than, Andrade versus Charlo than Andrade versus Canelo, as far as like what they really want to see, you know. At the end of the day, Canelo, like I said, with the fan base he's going to bring, and me being who I am, I'm going to bring the likes of superstars and actors and actresses. You know what I'm saying? So,
for sure.
and other people. So you're going to get a crazy atmosphere regardless, you know.
But what about, I mean, the WBA champ Murata, right? Is like, without being disrespectful, he's 100% the weakest of the champions, right? Eddie, I mean, surely for Eddie, having a unified middleweight champion on his roster like yourself, I mean, that's got to be like done, dusted. I know Triple G's got his eye on that belt, but it's not until December 31st, and it's like, bro, it's May.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't understand what's the benefit for somebody like Triple G to get that fight versus somebody like me. You know, somebody like me, you know, there's more to the table to say, come on, Charlo. Come on, Canelo. Come on. Versus Triple G. It's like, okay, he beats Murata, right? Or it could be a difficult fight. He turns 41 and Canelo has another fight. And then Canelo's like, okay, now he's 42. And Canelo's like, oh, he's 42? We'll fight him now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll fight him now. Beat him, possibly maybe put him out. He's a little older, maybe not go the distance or whatever, how it goes, but beat him because he has the youth. And then be like, I'm the best. I'm the greatest. I beat Triple G 2 times out of 3 times. He's 42. He's old. And then it's just like, yo, that's the type of shit you guys enjoy. Like, not me fighting him or Charlo or somebody, David Benavides. Like, those are real fights. Those are real guys that's going to come to really, you know, put it on and have finesse too. But yeah, man, it's just we can't keep letting the Canelo versus Colin Smith. Like, when they mention who did I fight, who Colin Smith fight, who Rocky Fielding fight. Like, it's not about like, you know, the difference between me and them. Like, nobody really wants to fight me. Them guys don't really want to fight nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, them guys don't really want to fight nobody, so they stick around and then they wait for the opportunity, and it happens because they're the weakest. You know, no disrespect to Caleb Plant. I think he's a great young fighter, and I think, you know, he has what it takes to beat somebody in the near future. But who has he fought to be able to be like, oh, Canelo? So it's just like, I understand his goal, but I've been in the way of his goal in 2 weight classes, and now he's trying to do it now. And he also stopped me to fight Billy Joe at 168 pounds when I was calling him out, willing to go up there and fight him. And so what does Canelo do? He goes and locks in the Yordam dude that he fought recently in Miami. And then he goes and say Billy Joe too, because Billy Joe's like, I'll fight Demetrius Andrade. So it was all smoke and mirrors to make more money, of course, than Canelo to lock in Billy Joe. Because if not, if me and Billy Joe would have fought, I would have beat Billy Joe, of course. And then now,
and then he
Canelo
loses that fight.
Yeah, now Canelo would be like, I think I'm going to go up to cruiserweight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's just, but, and also for the magnitude of things, I think it will be a bigger draw and a bigger fight. Me and Billy Joe would have fought. I'm confident enough to beat him. And then it would have been like, who did I fight? I fought Billy Joe. Now let's fight.
Yeah.
Because you're claiming to fight Billy Joe, but when I was trying to fight him, you guys like pretty much cock blocked. But it would have been a bigger draw if me and you would have fought after I beat Billy Joe.
That
I don't
must be
wanna
so
fight you.
frustrating. Like, you've got the strap. Like, I get when people get avoided when they're like too risky and there's no reward. But you've got this. Like, you're the world champ, and you've been there.
At the end of the day, forget the belt though. Forget the belt in Canelo's situation, but that's what he's looking for. He was getting $35 million, right? $35 million through the zone, and however you know, of course, he's using that to pay everybody, the fighter, whatever. So, however, that alone. You know what I'm saying? That alone says, you know what? I already made the money a bunch of times fighting these guys already. Well, let's get into a real fight and let's ask for more money, which they would ask, which they said, Canelo, if you fight Demetrius, I'll give you $5 more million. And that's a fact also. Do you think he's waiting that out then? Do you think, because he's got how many fights left on his contract now? There must only be
He's a promotional free agent now, right?
Okay, so free agent.
Well,
so now would that be?
That was different. Yeah,
because he's kind of guaranteed cash. So maybe he's like, let me take a few, and then because for your fight, he knows he can ask for the mega money. Do you think now it's more likely to happen, or?
I mean, he can ask for it at any time.
Right.
It's not like he can't. He's just put 70,000 Mexicans.
Yeah,
it was like a handful of black people. It was a handful of black people,
and that's in Texas as well. You know what I mean? Like Texas isn't not black. I've been Dallas. I've been Houston. There's they're black cities.
Not that.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying that they're not black. What I'm trying to say is he is Mexican. He is Mexican. So they're going to follow him. I'm just saying there was a handful of black people, meaning like, you know, he wasn't fighting a black person for a whole lot of black people in the superstar. Name one actor that was a superstar that was at that fight. That was colored or different color.
Yeah.
None. Name some Denzel, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, like nobody. You know what I'm saying? Only person that you seen was Ezekiel Elliott from the Cowboy Stadium. Whoop-de-doo. You know what I mean? But as far as him being Mexican, that's great. That's what he can do. But if he gets in there with a black fighter like myself, now we're going to have a bigger venue. We're going to have household names also there to watch the fight. Is what I'm trying to say. Not, you know, no disrespect to the fan base, but that's the type of fan base he has, is the Mexican fan base.
For sure. How good of a relationship do you have with Eddie? For example, so let me run this through what I'm trying to think, right? So Canelo's, you know, like you said, he's a good fighter. And all the way through his career, much like Anthony Joshua, like AJ went with Eddie from day one. And what they had Anthony Joshua on stadium big fights. Even if he's like third or fourth or fifth on the bill, but he got that feeling of the 70, 80, 110,000 stadiums, right? Canelo's had kind of the same for quite a while. And like for a Billy Joe who's, you know, he's not a ticket seller. Like in the UK, like I'm a Billy Joe fan. I like Billy Joe, right? I like the Travelers. I like Billy Joe. But he says himself that he can barely sell out a community center, let alone a stadium, right? But then all of a sudden he's got 70,000 negative vibes coming towards him. For someone like yourself, like, would it be worth for you just to have that eliminated? And this is nothing on your skill set or anything like that, but it's something that you haven't really experienced before. Saying to Eddie, get me anyone on that AJ Fury card, which is apparently going to be in August, and you get a trip to Saudi Arabia. Come on now.
I mean, you know,
I think you'd look sick on a camel.
You know, I mean, I definitely was. I definitely told Eddie Hearns a long time ago when the first who was it? Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua fight in New York, Madison Square Garden. Like if people like paid attention to a lot of stuff, I was ranting and doing the crybaby thing because, you know, closed mouth don't get fed, right? Facts. I said, yo, I would take less money to be on the co-main event on that card in New York, Madison Square Garden. And at the end of the day, and then when it was over and done with, I was like, damn, somebody could have, you know, did it for the black people. You feel what I'm saying? Like somebody could have won for the black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, somebody had to hold it down for the black people. You know what I mean? That's just saying, like, you know, like, why didn't you put me on that card? But his response was, I'm a main event fighter, right? That was his response to the world. I mean, I'm a main event fighter. And then
you are a main event fighter, but if you're asking, right?
And then I got asked, will I fight on Danny Jacobs and Gabriel Rosado's undercard in Miami with no crowd? And I said no. I said no, right? You guys, I don't know if you guys, like, if anybody remember, I was going to be on that card. I said no.
Yeah.
And then the fighter in me said yes. You know what I'm saying? After I said no, like, and I let it, you know, I was like, damn, man, I haven't fought. Damn, I want to fight. Motherfuckers got me on this fucking whack-ass card. Like, this is some bitch. When I wanted to be on freaking Anthony Joshua shit, they was like, oh, and I was taking less money. Now I'm doing this shit for no money just to stay busy. Fuck out of here. But I was going to do it, and then the guy I was going to fight ended up catching corona, so the fight didn't happen. And but it's just funny though. It's just a funny situation. So anyway, like, you see where Eddie Hearns kind of stands. He stands with Canelo. He stands with Anthony Joshua, you know, and he stands with the guys that he put Canelo in with. And Canelo's glad to say he's the best promoter out there. You know what I'm saying? He got me Rocky Fielding. He got me You're Dumb. He got me Colin Smith. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Bro, what real fight did he get?
I mean, since listen, for me, like, I think every single boxing fan out there saw Triple G Canelo won 8-4, right? He lost that fight. He got a gift draw decision. The second one, probably a draw, could have gone either way. It was a much closer fight. Other than that, there hasn't really been much in the way of, I mean, I thought Callum Smith was going to be a much more dangerous opponent for him because of his size, because of his confidence, because of everything else going on. Obviously, it wasn't to be.
Nah, the bell rung and he retreat to the ropes all night. No, just like, I'm just here to survive. Like, and you know, that's just to show you Colin Smith is not a real warrior champion at that level. He is a guy that, you know, fought some guys he can beat. And that was it. And won some champion little, I don't know, I heard he won some little thing they did in Europe and fought a bunch of old men. So, I mean, I don't know. So, yeah, it's just crazy. But, you know, I can only continue to beat me, make the noise that I can, and let these people know, like, back in the days, you know, Shannon Briggs, who did it? Marvelous Marvin. I think Sugar Ray Leonard, happened to him. I'm not too sure. I forgot who ran up on him. Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali. Like, yo, if you had a David Hay even does, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. If you want to fight somebody, you go to that motherfucker's press conference and be like, let's fight, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to hear the excuses. What's the excuses about? I don't want to hear, I don't fight nobody. Don't fight nobody. who you fight, man? Who you fight? Like, who I fight? Who Rocky Fielding fight? Like, if you could beat me, take my belt, take my undefeated record, which like, that's what you're trying to name of fame is. So why don't you come beat me, send me on my way? Yeah, I mean, for that, and then it's a paycheck. You know, like, hey, yeah, we fight to get paid. Right? That's our living. You fight, you get paid too, right? You like to get paid too to fight, right? So why can't I get? I don't get the same, like, treatment. Only you, like, I don't get that. Payday. Payday. Like, yo, bro, come on, bro. Enough with the excuses, man. That's it.
I mean, in like, for you, I've never seen him react that way to others before. He normally kind of dismisses it off, right? This is the first time I've seen him give up the ghost that he speaks fluent English to the point where he can be insulting and, like,
he was like, fuck you.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
Fuck out of here. Fuck out. I'll fuck you up right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, are you gonna move? You gonna come over here and fight? What we doing, bro? Like, you're not scaring me. You don't scare me, bro. Trust me. Like, nah, I got the wrong guy.
So
I'm funny, but I'm mean. I'm funny, but I'm mean, man. Don't get it twisted.
Speaking of funny and mean, right? So you're friendly with Billy Joe, right? I heard you say on an interview that you're friends, friendly, whatever. You text back and forth every now and again and stuff like that. How do you think he did?
You know, being there, you know, I felt like his energy was okay, but really wasn't doing anything to try to, like, show dominance. He was just, pick it, trying to, do like what he usually do. Tries to like, throw the little jabs, try to frustrate him. But it's like, yo, bro, you're fighting an elite guy. Canelo's an elite guy at the end of the day. Like, you're doing amateur moves right now. You're doing shit that you stop doing once you turn pro. Like, this is amateur shit. You're bending over into the right hand every single time. Like, you're blocking and bending over. Like, that is amateur shit. And we all know through Canelo's last fight, he's going to do the one punch, the hook, the little right uppercut hook he does, try to throw to the body, whatever. He did that. He does that with everybody. And you're sitting there as a southpaw, just bending into the shot. And now he's waiting for it. And you're doing it round after round after round after round and round. It's like no adjustment, no nothing. And then finally you get hit. Finally you get hit. He threw some punches together, but at the end of the day, Billy Joe's not the strongest. He's not the fastest, and he's not the slickest. Yeah. So, but for me, it was like, he was like trying to fight him like too comfortable with his hands down and not really work. I would have thought he would have worked on his defense in camp, would have worked on better movement in camp, but it was just, he didn't. And it shows. It showed that night that Billy Joe is not the best by doing amateur moves. And whoever was training him is not the best trainer because you're allowing him to do these amateur moves. Like, who bends over into, like, what I'm saying? Who does that? That's amateur shit.
Yeah. It was surprising because Canelo was trying to land that uppercut from like round one, and Billy was doing the same evasive sort of dip from round 1 too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's also a risky game plan, like
huge,
because there's no way he's going to get him out of there. So then you've got to go to the judge's scorecard. And when you're just kind of relying on the jab, like, okay, some people might see it, but that you're basically going to have to kill him to beat the scorecards. And that was,
And also, it also showed like, somebody like that's elite like myself, and some of the things Billy Joe was doing and capable of doing by moving and landing some shots, like, okay, now put me in there. That's way better. That's way more skillful, technical. And, I haven't fought for 15, 16 months, but I did a number on Williams. Now I'm in the groove of things, and now I'm seeing things. I'm going to fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to land hard shots on you. And I'm going to be able to, I got a good insight.
So there's a little bit of a cut in the action because we had a light technical difficulty, but we were just basically talking off air about, basically like how it must be so frustrating, because it's one thing if you're a top flight fighter that's not getting the opportunity. You've earned the opportunity. You've done it 2 weights now, and you're still being avoided with the championship, with the strap, with everything else going on. Like, it must be so frustrating. And then I have a question for you that you may even hang up the phone, right? Right? Please, just know that this is coming from a place of love and a place of good vibes. For someone like yourself who has, worked and worked and worked and done it against all of the odds, and then you see this crazy Triller YouTuber insanity, like, what does that do? Like, are you just like, just do what you want to do, keep me out of it, it's nothing to do with me? Or are you kind of like, get me Jake Paul, I'll beat the shit out of him?
No, listen, Jake Paul is cool, it's better to, do it in the boxing ring than out in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Non-violence. Sure. If they can, take whatever beef they first have, I guess Logan Paul and KRS, whatever, then they, whatever, and take it to the boxing instead. That's what everybody should be doing is, giving more light to the boxing world and getting in the ring to settle the difference. And it makes more sense to get paid to fight than it is to get beat up in the streets for free. So, and then at the end, and then, if you are, a YouTube star and you bring in a lot of views and it can help, other young fighters and fighters today to help viewership, and maybe, that viewership will tag along and stop following the fighters that's on the cards, and that's what their plan was, and maybe it would. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but to like think like they're being praised for they're like some like crazy fighters. No, they're not getting praised for that. I like the fact, like I said, it's like, if anybody has a problem with each other, it's best to bring it into the boxing match and make money out of it, and that's a good call. So I mean, it's all good.
I mean, before we had the technical issues, you was talking about like, how you've got to make noise, and like the incident, should we call it, with the press conference has done no damage to your profile or your dad's profile at all. Those are some serious numbers. Like, a lot of people, if they didn't know before, know you now, right? All good.
For sure, definitely. I mean, good media, bad media, it's all good media. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's all good. It's not like, I didn't do anything malicious to anybody to get the viewership. All I did was something that, they done in boxing many, many years ago. And to today, like, like I was saying, Shannon Briggs did it. Back in the
Still
days,
does
they
it.
did it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Ali turned up at Liston's house with a megaphone.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, I mean, so that's just part of boxing. What other sport can you go to somebody's press conference and say, hey, let's fight? So, I mean, you got to love it. You got to love it. And at the end of the day, it's like, why can the media ask all these questions to the fighter? But I can't ask the question. I can't say, Canelo, what's up? I can't ask you. You know what I'm saying? I can't challenge you. I can't have a conversation with you, bro. Like,
That's true.
Speaking of that, so I have a question for you. Which is, do you know the name Chris Eubank Jr.?
Yeah, I heard of the guy. Yeah.
You know of him. So today, for example, like, he described Liam Williams as a warm-up fight. He says that he will stop Triple G, and then today his promotional company put basically you in the bottom right-hand corner, Canelo, and then there was Kell Brook and then Liam Williams as his potential next opponents. Now,
I mean, don't he have losses?
yes. Yeah. So one to Billy Joe, one to George Groves, and George Groves' arm fell off in the final round. Like, he literally dislocated his arm and he only had one arm left. I
mean, so how can somebody like Chris Eubank's company put him to one side and put other three people to the other side? Like, he's this guy that is the man. Like, nobody cares about Eubank at the end of the day. I don't know. This was my question. How all of a sudden his name is back in the mix. You know what I'm saying? But I'm happy for any fighter to make money and to become something. But as far as like getting credibility of fighting Eubank, I don't see that being anything or like relevant to getting the elite guys, like or unifying the division. If he can stop Williams and go fight Williams. Go beat somebody I just fought, and that'll be Williams. Go beat him to say and show me you could beat him and do a better number than I did. And if he does, then great. If he doesn't, then we all know what Williams is made out of. And at the end of the day, I might have took a lot from Williams, but I think Williams is a tough motherfucker to get back in there and give anybody a problem because he's a tank. So, but my dad mentioned Laura because he just got this WBA regular bout. I mean, I don't know if that's like a unification bout. The Murata kid will be a great fight because, that's a unification bout. But that's the type of situation that I want to put myself in, not go and keep fighting, guys, which I'm going to have to fight whoever I can. But Chris Eubank is in no demand. Nobody cares to see Chris Eubank. So
this is why I asked this question, because like, if you hear him on the UK side of things, he is literally. You remember? You ever seen Fist of the North Star? To himself, he's like Kenshiro, death touching people. but then you see him fight, and you're just like, he just did a 10-rounder on the Derek Joseph Parker.
Someone take him.
Oh, champ. No way. He will be blurred out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the life of a dad.
Yeah,
mate. I've got a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, and I've got 2 little girls, mate. They manipulate the life out of me. It's tough. It's why I got no hair. Stress. Dude.
I got 4, so I don't know.
Shit.
Do you know what?
I don't know what my excuse is. I got 4.
You're a lot calmer than I. People ask me all the time, am I going to go for a 3rd? And I'm just like, oh no. I sit in a dark room hitting my shit to make sure it doesn't happen. I can't do that again. Anywho. Yeah, but
you must have learned that from Williams, huh?
he was rough, wasn't he? He loved that shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, wing. I was like, he was like, it was all right. It's like, pow. He was like, a little better.
Yeah. How did it feel after the long layoff? Was it a bit choppy, or was it just feel like no place like home, straight back in, no big deal?
Yeah, I mean, it's a real fight, definitely. I found my groove, what I needed to do. I felt smooth. I trained hard, and like I said, the next fight, I think I will be a lot more sharper. The more I fight, the sharper I get. So,
another terrifying thought.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not the best.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to see you like unify and then get the. I mean, like for Canelo's next thing, it's got to be like Caleb, and Caleb says, "I want $55 million." Discuss.
I mean,
or they go down for a different version, which is yourself. You know what I mean? Who else?
And you say, I want 100 million.
Yeah. I'll do it for 54.
Right? I mean, whatever it takes to get in there, because, the money's one thing, beating Canelo's another thing, and having a rematch is also a great thing. So there's definitely a lot of options out there to continue to have like a Canelo, Demetrius, and Andrade too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You're I had a brief chat, like I said. When I say brief, your dad and I were on the phone together for about 50 minutes last night. He was telling me about how you came up and you started in karate originally, then he moved you into boxing and stuff like that. Your dad was saying like he's either being super humble or what. He was saying that he kind of has no boxing background, but he kind of has been, navigating and training you all the way through it, which is like astonishing. So where did that style come from?
I mean, from just other sports. I did karate, I did football, I did a little basketball, I did a little baseball, I did some tennis. You know what I'm saying? I did a little bit of all types of sports. Football every time. I could have, went the football route, but I choose to stick to boxing and just using, all the techniques and drills that I learned from other sports and utilize it in the boxing world. And also, having that's just my own spice, and my dad teaching me the proper stuff, of course, and just put my own spices on it, and just having mind control over myself and over other people, and just knowing, what will it take to win every single round, and what do you got to do different every single round.
Because yours is one of those styles where it could be a silhouette and you can see that that's BooBoo.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There's not really. There's a couple of people similar, but it's not the same. Like you can visibly see that that's you, no matter what. Which is, again, I mean that is amazing to watch as a fan. Probably doesn't help you get the fights like we're seeing, because people just look at that and go, "What is that?"
It's called the best. It's called the greatest.
Yes.
It's called work. It's called hard work. It's called ethics. It's called, doing what it takes.
Yeah. Who were your like inspirations in the boxing world when you was coming up?
I mean, it was like Roy Jones. Roy Jones is definitely my guy. Leonard. Like as I got into boxing, I started watching, older, the generations before me, and started following, Sugar Shane, Leonard,
yeah.
Marvelous Marvin.
Going back.
Whitaker, seeing it, but as far as like me watching boxing, Roy Jones was the guy.
Yep.
And now are you like, because it seems it goes either way. Some people, they spend so much time in the gym and watching their opponents, things like that, that from a fan perspective, like, no, I don't watch any more boxing than I need to. And some are obsessed. Do you watch the fights yourself, or do you more just like you get enough from your own training?
I like watching good fights. You know what I'm saying? Like if there's some good matchups out there, and I'm a watch. There's some good undercards. It don't have to be just the main event. There's some great undercard bouts that's like, holy shit, this is a fight that you just don't know. I mean, I don't watch every single boxing thing because I have a life outside of boxing, of course.
Yeah.
If I could watch a lot of boxing, maybe I would, but I don't have the time to do that. I don't think, I just don't have the time to do that. But I enjoy watching boxing because, you get to see what's out there. And also I get to see like people trying to do what I do. Also, I carry on.
Yeah.
Nice. Once everybody seen them uppercuts, they was practicing in the gym, fights. We now to try to do the fights. Now they're like, every time you see me fight, you can learn and from doing angles, from like moving a certain way, and how you move, how do you do this, how do you do that, and they try to implement it into their, their style themselves and try to do it. But it's just there's a reason behind everything.
Yeah, but like to perform that is like trying to make a feat of like what Roy used to do, right? There's a certain makeup that can pull it off. There's a certain I can try and do that, and I may or may not look 2 out of 10 and then fall over, right? Landing the shot is one thing, landing the landing, getting out, doing everything else that you do with it. It's just artistry, dude. Like it's not something that you can watch and just go, I can do it.
Got it, nailed it.
Yeah.
Nah, not at all. But they're gonna try though.
Of course they are. Of course they are. But like that's we just need to get you big fights. Like just start texting Eddie, like sending him like just videos of just looking at the phone. Like, I'm next.
Get me a fight or you're in the ring next, motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm next.
Got that right. Yeah. I mean, that's what DAZN USA and Matchroom USA was supposed to do, is get you do it, bring and whatever, which I'm not saying they're not doing a bad job doing, which they're doing the best they can, but it's just like from your American guys, I was the first to sign, and I am the best American fighter you guys have when it comes down to it.
For
At
sure.
the end of the day, you got other people like, you got Tevin Farmer, you got Devin Haney, you got all these guys, but they're Devin Haney, and is a guy that's still coming up nowhere towards like the level to have like big fights right now today and make a huge splash. And you have that opportunity, so why aren't you making that opportunity happen? So I don't know.
Yeah, that's the most
my paychecks are my paychecks. I ain't playing that shit. No.
Yeah, it's like you couldn't do any more. You're like, because sometimes there's the promotional hurdle that has to be, someone's with Top Rank, someone's with Golden Boy, they don't get along. It's hard to do. But you're in, you got the DAZN link up, you got the strap. Come on, let's get these fights. You're ready to go.
I signed to my first fight with DAZN Matchroom. My first fight was to fight Billy Joe Saunders. They asked me, I was even off. I think I was off 15 months. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't getting no fights. It wasn't no meaningful fights. Like, I was at a point where, fuck boxing as far as like the business of it. I'm not getting in the ring unless it's worthwhile. And like the type of money I'm making, I can go to school for or do other things and invest what I have and make them as much money at that time. You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh, you want two tune-up fights or you want to fight Billy Joe Saunders? And my answer is fight Billy Joe Saunders. Get me back in the mix. Get me my belt. Get me where I need to be. Let's make it happen. And I'm going to show you how much money I'm really worth.
Have you invested in crypto yet? Because everyone needs to invest in crypto right now.
Yeah, I definitely got some, some shit rolling.
Yeah. How much, I'm asking everyone at this at the minute because it's my favorite. How much cum rocket do you have? Because that's my favorite crypto.
I don't have cum rocket. I don't have that.
Insane. And it's a real thing, apparently. Crypto's scary enough as it is, but whatever.
Yeah, of course. At the end of the day, as long as those numbers is going up,
exactly.
You just keep your eye on it and you pull out. You sell. You sell. You sell. Get the hell up out of there.
Boom. Straits, do you have anything else? We're easy.
Sell.
The champ said it. Everyone, sell your shit right now.
Either it sits in the bank and it don't move a needle, or you put it in some shit and hopefully it goes. And if it looks like it's going down, sell.
I would just like to asterisk, this is not a financial advice show. No one should be acting on behalf of BooBoo Andrade. He's not a financial advisor. But please, do your own research and have a little look. Come rocket. Patreon.com. Cough.com cuties. Yeah.
Champ, thank you so much for joining us. This has been such an honor.
Yeah, it's all good, man. Thank you guys too for your time. And keep doing the great interviews that you guys are doing and letting people know, you guys want to see and we want to see the best fight the best.
Hell
no
yeah.
more excuses about who this, who's that, who is Demetrius Andrade fighting Canelo, Triple G, and that's the shit that we want to see. We don't want to see Canelo versus American. Oh, I fought American. He was 140 and he came up to 154 and I put him out.
He nearly killed.
We don't want. But that's what
yeah.
That's the type of shit that we're allowing.
Yeah.
I think you need to come here. I think you need to come to the UK. I think that we would get behind you heavily and back you hard.
Because the other thing too, it's so rare. Like that's what's been lost, the best wanting to fight the best. Now it's become such a business thing. And obviously the business is important, but you're like a gold mine where you legit want the best. So I just don't see the stumbling blocks. Like Eddie, please listen to this shit. Get the man the big fights. Come on now.
The money's there on both parties, man. I'm not going to like overprice myself. I'm going to get what I think I'm worth, of course, for the fight itself. But Marvelous Marvin made $19 million against Sugar Ray Leonard. You know what I'm saying? And that was back in the days. You feel me?
Yeah, that's a lot of money then.
There's no reason, we don't have, and we're not making that type of money anyway. When you're saying Canelo Andrade, that's
Let's do it. Yeah.
Canelo Andrade, Triple G Andrade, everybody or whoever in that mix is worth that type of money when it comes down to it.
Hell yeah.
Triple G versus you would be like seeing Mummy and Daddy fighting for me. Like, it'd be awful. Like, because I love you both. Just like I just couldn't. That would be just like, oh,
looking through the fingers.
Yeah. Yeah. There's only one way that goes as well. I think you're too fast. I think you're too fast and too slippery for him. And on that note, champion. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Have a great night.
All right, God bless and be safe out there, man.
You too, brother.
Thank you, man. Peace.